Roger. Thanks for joining us. How are you?
No, I'm great. Thank you very much. Nice to see you.
Yeah, you too, you too. Roger, you are the Chief Operating Officer and Director of the Institute of Sales Management. Some people may know it better as the ISM. The Institute's been around since about 1911. It's been described as trailblazing. Can you tell us a bit about the history of the Institute?
Yeah, sure. We've actually spent quite a lot of time researching this and going back through the archives. It's amazing what's available. As you say, we've traced it back to 1911. It may go back further, but we know for certain 1911, and it really became incorporated in the 20s. We've had all sorts of interesting people involved with us over the years. King George V, King George VI were both, one of the two was sort of our chair, if you want to call it that, at one time, and more recently Duke of Edinburgh has been our patron as well. So we've had all sorts of quite interesting people involved with the Institute over the years, and basically went through from a purely sales organisation called the Sales Managers Association in the 20s right through to the 60s, and then in the 60s it sort of split into two. Both parts still exist. One part became the Institute of Marketing, or Chartered Institute of Marketing who we still work very closely with, and the other half became what was then the Institute of Sales and Marketing Management, which many people still know us as, and then that name changed in 2016, as recently as that, to the Institute of Sales Management. So we've sort of been around for a bit over 100 years, and these days we primarily focus on sales management, and rather than marketing, but our sort of sister organisation looks after that.
Very good. And how would you sum up in a nice, concise sentence what the ISM is all about? What's it for?
Well, what it's for is to develop salespeople and sales managers and sales directors, and in fact everyone who's interested in sales, and really develop the professionalism of sales. I think that's the key thing. We want to, as many people have an opinion of sales which sort of says, well, you know, it's a bit sort of cowboy or sort of whatever, and what we want is to develop sales as a profession more than anything else. So I suppose that's the summary objective.
Very good. And if someone's sitting out there who's tinkered with the idea or thought about maybe joining up, what are some of the sort of key benefits of membership?
Sure. Well, there are quite a lot, and especially at the moment when things are a little bit difficult. I'll give you a couple of examples of what we're doing. I think that the best way of looking at it is the ISM is really three things. On the one hand, we're a membership organisation, and we give membership benefits and post-nominals as membership organisations generally do. We also are an education body. There's a ISM Education, which is an off-qual provider of qualifications and sales, and we're pretty well the only people who actually offer off-qual sales qualifications. And we also have a huge awards ceremony every year called BESMA, which is really sort of the BAFTAs of sales, and about the same sort of size as the BAFTAs in actual fact, and often in the same location, which recognises people's performance. So broadly, there's those three things. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of detail in that, but that's essentially the three things that we do. Very good,
very good. A big part of my connection community is related to sales in some sort of degree, and there's many people that are sales professionals who work at sales who are feeling a little bit confused about the current environment. With the onset of the pandemic, the then push-on effects of economic slowdowns, whether we're going into a recession or a depression or whatever it is, but there's lots of salespeople, very skilled people that have built up techniques, networks, methods, and all of that, who are sitting thinking, bloody hell, what does the future hold here? Are you getting any sort of feedback like that from your member community just now?
I guess we are, but we're working very hard to try and help people. I mean, we've done a load of things. I've mentioned some before. We've just actually put in something in the last 24 hours, which is I think called ISM Live, which is an online forum for our members, based actually on a webinar platform, because it gives more opportunity for more people to come in. And we're going to run those on a sort of regular basis, sort of forum for discussions. We've supported one of our partners who are doing online sales meetings or sort of sales meeting discussions at 8:30 every morning, which is available to everyone. Actually, it's a company called Sales Geek. You can find details on our website.
Okay.
Other things we're doing, we're obviously offering qualifications, as we always do, but we're looking for new ways of offering qualifications and through our partners, so you can do it online, you don't have to go live, and this sort of thing. It's a good time to develop new abilities, new skills and qualifications, I guess. We also have a WhatsApp address for our members, and anyone who's not feeling very good or wants to talk or just wants to exchange ideas. We're doing that. We got 349 communications this morning, to give an idea of that. So there's a lot of people out there. So we're generally getting people to do two things really. One is to support each other, and also think about the future, because we figure that now's the time to do that. I know it's not great, but there will be an end to this. And we think things like developing yourself qualifications, thinking new things to do in the future is the way forward. And that's what we're encouraging people to do.
Very good. I have the honour of being in touch with the people in my sort of membership community, contacts community, that are either in general management or in health and safety or in sales. And right. I sometimes hold up. I don't know if it's worth discussing, but I sometimes hold up these two types of individuals in comparison. Sometimes health and safety people, when I ask them why they got into health and safety, they almost always respond that it was some sort of vocational calling, and that brings with it a sort of ongoing lifetime career, sort of CPD. They're always on top of it. They're always training. They're always keeping in touch with legislation and trying to keep their tools sharp. Many of the people that I meet in sales, I'm not saying this is a bad thing, have got into sales through by hook or by crook, or just managed to fall into it, or don't really know why they're there. And I don't really know a hell of a lot of salespeople who have gone down that training and qualifications route. But what you're saying is you've got your training, I think it's your training and development hub, where salespeople can go in and
yes,
do
indeed.
proper formal courses and find techniques and tips. And that goes all the way up to, I guess, diploma level, right? Level 6.
Yeah, yes, right. So we have a level 7 actually in development, which is going to come out anytime soon, that's a postgraduate qualification that will lead on to a master's degree. So we're sort of moving in that direction, but we're moving down as well. But yes, I mean, we have I think it's fair to say, if you look at our members, they tend to be more senior people on average, but we encourage also everyone in sales. And what you say about sales is true, that a lot of people just drop into it. But having met many of our members, a lot of them what I would say have done very well out of selling. Yeah. I don't just mean financially, though they often can be financially, but also they've done well in terms of progression within organizations. It is an absolute fact that a lot of CEOs in companies came from a sales or sales marketing background. Yeah. So there's lots of opportunities for salespeople. It's not just a job you take because you can't get anything else, sort of thing. And that's really what we're trying to encourage people to do. And we work with some very, very capable people. We really do.
And you've said you did an article a few years back saying that sales was still not being seen as a profession. And right. sometimes with some of my connections over in the US, there seems to be much more of a sort of a pride in being a sales leader. Yeah. And it's almost like a badge of honor. But still somehow in this country, it's still not seen as like a valued profession. Is that something that you see getting better?
I've got to say yes to that. We work actually with several US sales bodies, the sort of the equivalent of us, and we obviously, you're right to what you're saying. It sales is has more credibility, although they have the same problems there as well if you talk to them. But yes, I think sales is becoming more and more of a profession, and we want to make it that way. As I say, for various reasons. I mean, one is it's extremely important, and it's going to be particularly important over the next 12 months because, frankly, a lot of organizations are going to be hanging on the edge coming up. It's going to be a tough time. And the one thing you need in bad times is sales. It's the only thing that's going to keep you going. Nothing else is going to help. You can cut your costs, but ultimately, no sales, no business. So we see sales becoming more and more important. And if you're a very strong salesperson, you can do extremely well in this world. But we are keen on professionalism. We're currently doing a research study with an American university on sales ethics, for instance,
Right.
which will be published hopefully by the end of the year. It's that sort of timescale. So we're very keen about salespeople acting ethically. We did a project last year on stress in sales. So we look very carefully at the professional aspects of being a salesperson and look to enhance what selling is all about, really.
Good stuff. And I do see this time as, whether you're furloughed, sitting at home, or whether you're working from home but have slightly more time in your hands, you're absolutely right. We're going to come out of this, whatever shape and form it is, whatever
Sure.
shape the recovery is. Wouldn't it be great right now if you're in sales and you've never really dabbled in formal qualifications or anything membership wise, wouldn't it be great to come out of this with some qualifications, with some new credibility and maybe some new skills to add into the mix? It's going to maybe differentiate you from the herd, perhaps.
Sure. Absolutely. One of the things I would want to emphasize, we talk about academic, but it's true, it's sort of an academic course in the truth that it sense that it goes through Ofqual. But the stuff we cover is not sort of academic researchy theory type stuff, really. It looks at skills. It's very much skill driven. In fact, everything we do is about skills. So it's things like negotiation, opening and closing. It's about, if you're a sales manager, it's about leadership. It's about coaching. So these are the sort of things we cover in our qualifications. So they're all hands-on skills that you can take away and use in your job, as well as something you stick on the wall. But the main thing is that people who take them, and indeed companies that use them, report very good performance improvements in their staff. And that's really what you would do them for. It's not just a piece of paper to stick on the wall and forget about. It's what you learn in the course that actually will help you do better.
Very good. So in these times of stress and uncertainty, people coming together is really important now. It's obviously difficult to do that with the distancing measures that we have in place. But from personal experience, I see the ISM as a place where if you are in a particular occupational mode, you can link up with like-minded people. You can follow a potential training plan, and you can just enhance your network and be more exposed to like-minded people in that zone. If you could, Roger, stand up and on top of Big Ben and speak to all of the salespeople in the United Kingdom and further afield, would you have any messages right now that might help?
Well, I think actually you just sort of answered them a bit. I think the first thing I would say is that you actually have to, rather than staying at home, you have to physically stay at home rather than actually just staying there. It is to reach out to people and discuss things and network and meet more people. I think that's and you might say, well, I can't get out of my house at the moment. True, but there are a vast range of networking opportunities. I mean, we offer a lot, and what I would say to anyone listening to this, I mean, we'd love you to become a member, but before you do that, why not do two things? One, have a look at our website. There's all sorts of stuff on that. And the other thing, probably better in some ways, is to have a look at the ISM's LinkedIn site. We're on a whole lot of social media, but LinkedIn we tend to be, and really the big thing. And if you look through the LinkedIn site, there's all sorts of events and things going on. Now, I can't deny some are for members only, but some are not. And there's all sorts of people contributing. And what I would say, first of all, is perhaps get more involved. I think that's something that I would do right now, because especially if you're staying at home and you've got kids screaming and all the rest of it, dogs barking, it's nice to be able to mix with other people. And I say we've got a whole range of things going on at the moment, and not all of them are for members. Obviously, some are. And that's the first thing I would do right now, I think. Obviously, personal development, it's a good opportunity to develop yourself right now. And there's all sorts of ways you can do that. I mean, we have, for instance, as members, we have a library, which is members only, I'm afraid, but you could read sales books. We've got lots of those available, all online. There's a whole range of things you can do. But I think the main thing is look to the future, because who knows how long this is going to take, but it will come to an end. And also, as I said before, but I think a key point, there will be a big demand for people who can bring the business in 3 months' time. Huge. Indeed. Because companies are going to be short of work. They'll all be scrambling to try and get back into the market. And this is when you need good salespeople.
Indeed. A very poignant end. You've mentioned the website a few times. Just want to tell us what the website is?
Yes, and actually I just checked the LinkedIn is the same, so it's always easy. They're both ISM professionals, so www.ism, one word, ismprofessional.com.
Very good. We'll urge,
And the LinkedIn's the
everyone.
same, roughly.
We'll urge everyone to get online and check it out.
Yeah,
And
please do.
just from personal experience, it's a very worthy institute to be part of. So, Roger, thank you so much for your time. We wish you all the best for the future, and we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for your time. Thank you.
Bye.